Hi everybody. Does America need a tsunami to wake up? Because, it's becoming the United States of brainwashing here. It's kind of weird. Yeah, we need a tsunami to wake up this country. Look, let's go step by step. The recent Japanese crisis with the nuclear facilities in those conditions. Now the Americans, they're shitting their pants at the idea that some of those radiation could eventually arrive in on the west coast of the United States. Well, probably a little part of it is going to arrive there in the same way the Chernobyl radiation arrived in the United States. It's arriving all over the world in a minimum percentage. So they change things in a way that they change the problem. The problem is not that. The problem is not the fact that there will be a minimal impact. They are terrified of the idea that there is an impact from Japan, you know. But if you ask most of the Americans if they want to block their own nuclear facilities, well, the Americans know why. It's like oil. It's like the disaster that we had in the Gulf. You know, it's not even sufficient to have a disaster of those proportions to make Americans understand that they need to move quickly towards renewable energy. Because not only you save energy and renew it, but you remove any risk of radiation, pollution, and stuff like this. We really need a tsunami for that. As we really need a tsunami at political level in this country. We really needed the people in Wisconsin had to go in hundreds of thousands just to defend their freedom to bargain, for union bargaining and so on. Or that there are tons and tons of people that because of healthcare, because what the healthcare is in the United States, they die, they go bankrupt, and only in that case people wake up and say, oh, maybe we have to change the structure. Or people have to be in the street as a kids because they cannot afford, their family cannot afford to go to college or drop the college and increase the criminality in the country without increasing the competition. Is this that we need to have? We are really need to arrive to a extreme. Is the brainwashing paranoia that is going on in the United States is kind of scary. It's really kind of scary. They are trying to put poor against the poor, the fight of the poors. They try to divert the real target and the real problems in this country towards people like teachers or policemen or or the unions, because they don't want to solve the problem. That's the reason why. Why American has to be completely at the mercy of the corporations like Mussolini did during the fascism? It's another unbelievable question. The basics of capitalism are entrepreneurship, fair competition, investments. These are the basics. These are the basic part of it. And capitalism actually grew up and was built in the United States and exported abroad in a structure that was the New Deal, actually, that worked kind of well in Europe. What we have in Europe right now is not the socialism, it's what we imported from the United States, from the New Deal, in which there were the unions, in which there was the social services for everybody, public school, public healthcare, and at the same time there was a lot of pure capitalistic competition. This is what Europe is now. America, they like to give labels to others. It's their favorite sport, probably because they don't know anything about the history of the other countries, so they assume they can rewrite the history of the other country in the same way people like Glenn Beck brainwash with the shock doctrine, with electroshock, mental electroshock to people to rewrite the history of their own country. So they pretend they can, because they can rewrite the history of their own country just to adapt the history to their needs, they can rewrite the history of other countries to their needs and see who are the enemies and so on. They did it with religion. They rewrote completely the Christian religion for their own needs. I mean, it wasn't enough that in Europe we had the Reform and we had Catholicism, Anglicanism and Protestants and Calvinism and Lutheranism and whatever, you name it. No, once in the United States they have to reinvent again their image, the religion. So we got the Mormons and then the Evangelical, the Pentecostal, the Baptist, and so on and so on and so on. They had to target everything. They have to target everything to their own image. For the Americans, the concept of God is that God is good only if God looks like us. The level of brainwashing in this country is at the point in which they brainwash other people and they self-brainwash and convince themselves that God, or whatever it is at the service of us. I don't believe in God, honestly. But at least I respect the people that have a certain kind of spirituality and imagine this kind of spiritual entity for them, for their own benefit. I don't understand completely, but I respect that. But the fact that they have to transform anything at the point that they become the God, and if God is not them, is a bad God, and if it's not serve their own profits, their needs, their money, their greed, that's not a good God. And if it's something that is not coming, reorganized and readapted in this country, is not good. So it's not good. Muslims are not good. Other kind of religions are not good, because this is what we do here in this country. We change things for us. There is no sense of humility. There is no sense of respect. There is no sense of self-criticism. There is no sense of, what can I say, prevention. Because at the very end, when we were talking about healthcare, when we were talking about education, when we were talking about the creative investment, high-speed trains, when you're talking about the clean energy and renewable energy, is an investment of your life. We are at the point in which we have people that brainwashed other people, convincing that having a fat kid with diabetes eating his ass off at the risk of heart attack is kind of a natural thing that this country should have, you know. But the funny thing is that there is a maneuver around that, because most of these fat kids and fat people are in the lower middle class, because they deprive these people from all their rights, from all their benefits. They leave them with the minimal choice, and the minimal choice is to go to McDonald's, Burger King, or whatever, because they can afford only that kind of meal that costs $1 for continuous burger, or they cost 70 cents for chips, or 5 cents for soda. Of course, healthy food, which is the weirdest part of all, that it should be actually the cheapest one, is the most expensive. That's the paradox in which we are here. That's the paradox. You know, have you ever noticed one thing that clarify this paradox? When you buy bread, the whole wheat, the whole grain, costs more than a white bread. So the non-refined wheat costs more than the refined wheat, but it's sold as organic, so it costs more. So there is this idea that everything that is unhealthy has to be proposed to lower income people, because these are the only benefits they can use, while the slim upper class and so on, unless they fucked up themselves with drugs and with alcohol, because they are stupid enough to do that, they can afford to go to the best gyms, best spa, best everything to keep themselves healthy. Isn't that funny? We are at the point of the brainwashing in which we have people like Dick Cheney that now is in favor of gay marriage just because he cannot escape from the reality that his daughter is lesbian. Unless he hates his daughter, he has to accept it. So people, instead to prevent, as I said, react to things. America cannot live reacting to things. And I explain you why in a few words. It's like sales. It costs much less to keep a client than to reconquer a client from a competitor. Prevention. You keep a client and it costs you much less. It's an investment. It's called customer service. But if you lose this client because you are too arrogant, and I can tell you the corporations in the United States are losing their clients, to reconquer those clients costs tons of money because the clients are unsatisfied. It's a not good customer care. It's an awful customer care. It's awful. So this is what America is. Americans prefer to lose their own business, the most effective business, the quality of life of their own business, paying the double, 3 times, 10 times more to try to reconquer that back at a very cheap price, under the value, and for cheap things. Because finally it behaves like a cheap country, not like a mature, grown-up country that evolve and build up a structure, a backbone, a society with principle. No, it's just me, 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 me. And that's what is fucking up America. Sorry, America. These are the United States of brainwash right now. You have to react to that. If you like people like the Wisconsin governor, in general the Tea Party governor, to dictate your life, you're fucked. You are totally fucked. You are not understanding what's really going on here. They're using you. They are squeezing you. They are sucking your money, your blood, and sending you to bankrupt. And the funniest part of all this is that you are the happy idiot masochist that thank for that.